Testing, 1, 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kansas Club Baseball on the KU Club Baseball YouTube channel. I am Trevor Butler, and today I'm joined alongside a brand new face. I've got Mason Kuntz to my right, making his broadcast debut as the Jayhawks get ready to take on number 19 Creighton. A beautiful but chilly day here in Omaha, Nebraska, as this 9-0 Creighton team gets ready to take on 0-7 Kansas. Mason, what do you think about the outlook for today?
Trevor, there's no better time to get your first win than now. Obviously, not the start the Hawks were looking for, but a big upset could take place today. As you said, Creighton hasn't lost yet. Also, just want to say thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and just glad to be along for the journey. Of
course, it's going to be a great time. And if there's anybody in the chat watching, let us know. If you can hear us, let us know if everything sounds all right. If you can't hear me, if you can't hear Mason, we'll work that around. But Kansas is going to be first up to take some cuts here. We're just about a minute or so away from getting this thing going. And for the Jayhawks, it's going to be Jackson Pollock leading off for Kansas, the new addition in the offseason for the Jayhawks, of course. And he's going to face a Creighton team that is 9-0 and 6-0 in conference play. Swept St. Louis and then just swept Missouri. So this Creighton team, very formidable, and of course ranked 19th in the NCBA in Division I right now. And this Blue Jays team is looking to put themselves in the driver's seat of the Mid-AM South region and nearly punch their ticket to Topeka as fast as they can. But it's going to be Jackson Pollock, as you can see here, taking some cuts to start us off.
Point of interest I wanted to add to that. We're playing on like a mix between a baseball field here and a soccer field, so the turf is very short. So those balls in the gap, once they get down to the ground, down the line, it's going to roll forever. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. The sun is just behind home plate too, so that's going to add a little bit of difficulty for the outfielders to be able to see the ball.
Camera around there. That way you can see home a little better. What the angle we're looking at here?
Chief cameraman, Trevor Butler.
Left side of the field.
You can't currently see it, but this luxurious broadcast booth they've given us here. So thankful for the folks here at Creighton University. Currently in a flower bed.
Yeah, we're hanging out in a flower bed. Always a good time.
Probably the best spot we could have been though. We got a nice wall behind us, shading us from the wind.
Yeah, we're hoping that the wind stays away. But that's how it goes in club baseball. You always get some sort of fun little story. Something funny's always going on. Trying to get a good look. It appears that number 42 is on the hill. Let's take a look. That's Drew Meyer. So Drew Meyer on the hill today for the Blue Jays. It looks like he does not have any stats on his game changer. We got to use game changer. You can't really see the lineups otherwise. But that's life. That's how it goes.
Just from watching his warm-up here, I'm noticing he's got a curveball and a slider. He's throwing the curveball most out of anything here. A couple of fastballs. Mid-80s, I'd say.
Ball is in, and we are away now. So Jackson Pollock leading things off from that left-handed batter's box. You can kind of see him in the right-hand side of your screen. Yeah, like we said, it's a little tough. We're at a weird angle here, but we're going to get things underway. Meyer facing Pollock. Kansas versus Creighton. And Pollock takes a big hack at the first offering.
Just a little bit behind that one. See if he can't get out in front of it.
Meyer will continue to work here the 0-1. Again, a big-time hack, and all of a sudden, Pollock's going to have to work from behind.
Interesting choice from the pitch there. Late on the first one, breaks off the off-speed. We'll see what we got here.
0-2, got him swinging. 1, 2, 3, and Drew Meyer picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon. So Owen McGovern, shortstop today, will bat second here, and now back in the right-handed batter's box. One away here. Meyer goes back to win. And McGovern will chop that one. Tough play, and it's going to sit down in center field. Owen McGovern.
Perfect placement. Little flare.
First pitch swinging, and Kansas has a man aboard. So Kyle Davis now. He's over at first today, the long-awaited return after he missed the fall season with a leg injury. If you remember back to our time in beautiful Sterlington, Louisiana, he was active in that chat watching those games. So back at it now for Kansas. And he'll leave that one down low.
It's what this Kansas team needs. You know, things aren't obviously going the way they want. They need a hot start. They need to get some runs across the plate. Play with a little bit of momentum.
Today we'll play 2 7-inning games, as that's a big old hack right there from Kyle Davis. We'll play 2 7-inning games. It'll be a 7-inning doubleheader. We'll have one just after the conclusion of this ball game, and then tomorrow it's a classic 9-inning matchup before the Jayhawks pack up and head back to Lawrence. 1-1. It's in there for strike 2.
First look at the breaking ball. Good pitch, get me over curveball.
So 2-strike approach here from Davis. Defend the plate a little bit. 2 is popped up left field. You guys can't see it, ranging over and making the grab as the left fielder. McGovern head first slide back, but he got him! He picked off McGovern at first, a tough play. But an inning double play. We go to the bottom of the first. 0-0 your score. Welcome back here to beautiful Omaha, Nebraska, where it is a chilly day, but a beautiful one. The sun is out, the sky is clear, and we are in the bottom of the first, in the first game of a 2-game doubleheader between the Jayhawks and the Blue Jays. Creighton's turn to take some cuts. It's going to be John Frost leading things off. He watches that outside for ball 1. Andrew Faulkner on the hill for Kansas today. We'll take a look at their lineup. Jackson Pollock leading off and playing center. Owen McGovern batting in the 2-hole and manning shortstop. Over at first, it's Kyle Davis. Batting third as Frost chops that one over towards Chayton Wright at second. On to Davis at first, and Kansas has its first out of the ballgame. As we were saying, it's Davis at first. Justin Orloff manning the hot corner over at third and batting cleanup. Mike Ray designated hitting, batting fifth. Andrew Swearingen behind the plate and batting sixth. Keelan Tunnel out in right field batting seventh. Eli Greenfield in left batting eighth. And Chayton Wright over at second batting ninth, as that's a little high from Faulkner, and it's 1-0.
First pick strikes are going to be a big one against this strong Creighton team. Got to jump out early.
So Faulkner having to work from a little behind here. The 1-0 is laced out toward left field. Greenfield, though, is there, and he makes the grab, a routine play. And there's 2 down. Parker Flores retired, and Faulkner looking to make quick work. So 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Creighton looking to establish something here, and it's going to be Drew Oleshko batting in the 3-hole for the Blue Jays. Faulkner's first pitch in there a little slowly, and it sits in the dirt 1-0. Is cracked, hit pretty well out toward left field. That's going to sit down. Greenfield's going to have to go all the way to the wall. Oleshko around towards second. He'll jog, standing up into second. So a 2-out double from Drew Oleshko, and Creighton notches their first hit of the afternoon. It is tough, like we said, you can't really see the left-hand side of the field just because we're in a really weird spot.
And there's that turf again I was talking about. It hit probably halfway between the fence and the infield and just rolled all the way to the corner. Nice job just to be able to get it in.
Yeah, not a lot you can do there. So Kansas now is going to have to operate with some traffic because that's a little high from Faulkner, and it's 1-0. And the Creighton dugout definitely getting loud now. Carter Galante batting cleanup here for the Blue Jays.
Leave it for the birds. It's always, as a pitcher, irritating. Got to tone that out.
So the 1-0 here from Faulkner is again hit pretty well. That's going to sneak through the gap. Green light on for Oleshko. Greenfield uncorks a throw, but it's not in time. Oleshko slides in head first, and Creighton is on the board here with 2 outs in the first inning. Galante, an RBI single that just snuck through that 6-5 hole.
It's unfortunate. Really good start there, getting your first 2 guys. Double that rolls all the way to the wall, and a nice base hit there.
So Andrew Faulkner is going to have to remain cool, calm, and collected as Brady Schmidt steps up. First pitch swinging is going to go foul. Bounced around a little bit.
Went off his foot. Doesn't feel great. No shin guard there, so he's definitely feeling that one.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's a fun one. 0-1 now. Is left a little outside. They're having some fun over there in the Creighton dugout, cheering for Brady Schmidt here. 1-1. Is again outside. Faulkner struggling early, leaving a lot of those off-speed pitches outside.
Be something I'll look at on that release point, especially on that curveball.
So the 2-1 now. Runner goes, throw down, not in time. Galante swipes seconds, and I'm not sure what the call was there.
As I was saying on that curveball,
3-1.
especially on the curveball area, when you get your release point, you release too high, it tends to pop out of your hands and it doesn't go where you want it.
And we've got a comment in the chat, where's the Iron Dome? Yeah, unfortunately, Tyler did depart the team in the offseason as Schmidt takes a walk. He departed the team in the offseason. He left for the greener pastures of broadcasting for the big-time Kansas team, and I was lucky enough to join him in the broadcast booth a couple of weeks ago. He did tell me I was demoted back to AAA Omaha now, so we're back down here, but always a good time as that's going to be ripped foul to start things off.
Barely out in front of that one. Lucky there that one didn't land fair, otherwise that would have went all the way to the wall as well.
Yeah, that could have been troublesome. We were talking pregame about the turf. What did you say about that?
Saying that they're playing on like a soccer field basically, so it's really short, thin turf, and if it catches that, it's just going to roll and maybe roll some more.
As there's a big-time hack, and all of a sudden Faulkner ahead 1-2, looking to escape this inning with only 1 run allowed.
See if he brings back that chase pitch down in the dirt. Got him to bite once. Wouldn't be surprised if we brought it back here.
1-2 to McMillan is fouled off. So Peyton McMillan defending the plate a little bit here. But yeah, like we said, Tyler back in Lawrence. But it has been a lot of fun to get to do that with him, and it's a lot of fun to be here this weekend, even if it is a little chilly outside here in Omaha. You work with it.
It's good just to be here. A lot of trouble last week. Just to have our equipment finally working right. It's good to finally be here.
left outside, and McMillan will get one back here. It's 1-2.
Got a slider there.
So Faulkner looking for that punch out, trying to escape the inning. And he gets it. Drop third strike, throw over to Davis at first in time. Creighton gets one, but we go to the second. 1-0 Blue Jays your score. We are back here for the top of the second. Creighton striking first, but Kansas looking to get it back.
Mentioned the wind. It's howling right now. We're lucky enough to be somewhat out of it, but not quite in the ideal spot of a broadcast booth here. So bear with us if the sounds get a little bit of wind in the mics.
Yeah, I got a text saying holy windy mic. So that may be a problem as Myers' pitch skips to the backstop. It's going to be Justin Orloff batting cleanup and manning the hot corner over at third. He was in Ireland over spring break, did not go to PCB with the team, but the man they call Shrek is back for this series. The 1-0. Lots in there for strike one.
Trev, you talked about getting a text. Is that a good thing to admit you're on your phone on the job?
No, maybe not, but sometimes you see messages as Orloff will take that for strike two, and sometimes you give it a little look because you could be getting some feedback, some constructive criticism, someone telling you to speak up. So kind of depends, as Orloff is going to ground that one up the middle. Tough play over at short, bobbled once, throw to first, not in time. Justin Orloff beats the throw, and you hear the hard 90s call from the Kansas dugout as there's a man aboard to start things off here in the second.
That's what they need. Get them on, get them over, get them in one hit at a time. As cliche as it is, it's true.
So Mike Ray now stepping up, the designated hitter this afternoon for game one of this 3-game tilt. And he'll wave at the first pitch for strike one. It's been a long, cold winter for this Kansas team. Of course, the last time we were here with you guys, we were in Sterlington, Louisiana, watching them play the Parker Patriots. Here's the 0-1. Slotted in there for strike two. Meyer looking to make quick work of Ray.
He's humming them in there.
He is.
Pumping strikes early and often. Good signs for this Creighton pitcher.
We'll look for the punch out here. Left a little low, a close pitch, but it just missed just at the shins, and it's 1-2. But no, like I was saying, it's been a long, cold off season. We were with you guys in Sterlington as they beat the Parker Patriots in that one. As Ray pops that one up on the infield, hooking foul, but easily playable. Wind almost grabs it, but it's corralled and there's one down.
Maybe got a little lucky there. I don't think he completely saw it. Looks like he was able to track it at the last second. Unfortunate for the hitter, but lucky break for the defense.
Yeah, for as windy as it is, from that angle, you're looking right up into the sun. So Andrew Swearingen will step in. He'll watch the first pitch for strike one. The lefty looking to move Orloff along the base paths.
Breaking ball.
And he'll leave that one. A very nicely placed breaking ball, as you said. So looking for that first punch out is Meyer. Because that's just a little high and outside, missed just above the letters.
Breaking ball, my favorite pitch to throw. Make somebody look really dumb with it.
1-2 now. Fanned him for strike three. Swearingen goes down on strikes, and Keelan Tunnel will step in now with 2 down here in the top of the second.
Blew that one right by him.
He certainly did.
He's humming him.
So Meyer looking to get out of the trouble after the leadoff single, as Tunnel takes that one for strike one.
Starting to see a pattern. Wants to start him with the fastball.
A little high there.
Maybe I would start hunting that first pitch, see if you can't poke one in the outfield.
Yeah, he's certainly trying to pick up those first pitch strikes. Here's 1-1. Again, a little high. Creighton dugout doesn't love that call, but Tuttle moves ahead 2-1.
A little bit early, fraction of a second on his release point mentioned earlier. If you don't get that release point perfect, you're going to be in a world of trouble.
That's chopped foul off the. It sounded like it went off the mask of the catcher. Never want to see that, so he'll pop back up for a second. Looks like he's A-OK, and the count goes even at 2.
Might be fine, but those certainly aren't fun. Just to ring your bell, your whole head's buzzing for a minute.
2-2 got him. And that'll end the frame. Meyer works around a leadoff single and sits the Jayhawks down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Creighton. Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska, where in between innings I found out that my mic fell off. We work with lapel mics. I keep mine strapped to my cross necklace, and I looked down and I saw in the flower bed below me the microphone, as Faulkner puts that in the dirt for ball one. Yeah, so microphone in the dirt.
Trevor's fancy way of saying he wanted to hear the new guy speak a little bit more.
Yeah, I got to give him a go. 1-0 is cracked out toward left field. Hard hit ball there from Jackson Lawrence. He'll round and head for second. Throw in, not in time. A head first slide from Jackson Lawrence. And the Blue Jays have a leadoff double here in the bottom of the second.
Couldn't place that better if he tried. Probably landed a foot at most inside that line.
Yeah, really just poked it through the gap. Not a lot you can do if you're Orloff over at third. As Nick Fisher will now look to bring him around. Left a little high to start things off. It's 1-0.
Doesn't seem like he's completely on today. 3-hour car ride, that'll do it to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Cramped down like that for long periods of time and trying to play a baseball game is not ideal.
Not as bad as the 9 hours to Sterlington, as that's chopped foul. Kansas, of course, played that evening. As soon as they got to Sterlington, we went right from Lawrence to the fields, and they played the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets. Did cruise in that one. I believe it was a 7-4 final score, but it's always a little bit tougher in the spring, as that's in there for strike two, a very well-placed breaking ball.
See if we can't get a curveball, something off speed in the dirt, get him to chase.
1-2 now from Faulkner.
There it is.
He got that curveball in the dirt, just as you said. Throw on to first. They're going to try and execute the little bit of a double steal, but it was almost a defensive indifference there from Kyle Davis over at first. Lauren goes to third, and there's one away.
That's okay. That's okay. Got your out. Move him over towards the bottom of the lineup. See if he can strand him on third.
One away. That's going to roll to the backstop. Lawrence going to hold, though. Bounced right back to Swearingen. It's Charlie Schrage here now in a 1-0 count.
Dugout's chirping their guy on third base not coming there. I think he'd have been dead to rights. Good choice to stay.
Yeah, definitely a very lucky bounce right there. Right back to Swearingen. 1-0 left outside. Kansas trying to get those off-speed pitches to work, but it hasn't been working thus far for Swearingen, as that's chopped over toward first, or it's chopped over toward the pitcher. Weird play right there.
Beautiful athletic play by the pitcher there. Die on the hill. Pitchers are athletes. I'm trying to say that you're just wrong.
Some wind now coming towards us. Might get a little loud on the mic. Our apologies. Yeah, apparently I'm not on my game either this afternoon. First game of the club season for me calling, so I'm kind of trying to find my footing again. Faulkner now working with 2 outs, and he picks up a first pitch strike. They're again chirping their own guys. So, someone just said chicken jockey. I actually went to the Minecraft movie last night. Got to watch that. That was a good time.
How was that, by the way? I didn't get to ask. I've heard stories, people's opinions. Haven't been yet. Should I go?
It was interesting. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the greatest film in the world, as Frost takes that one outside for ball one. I wouldn't say it's the greatest film in the world, but I had a good time. I mean, growing up playing Minecraft, it was cool to see the movie. And I went with some friends and just all around a fun time.
Maybe I'm one of the few. I never was big on Minecraft.
1-2 popped up, ranging over toward the dugout, and it's going to go out of play. The field here is right next to the Creighton softball field, like the official softball field that the Blue Jays softball team plays on. So out in right field, not even right field, but almost right behind home plate. Just off to the right is the baseball and softball indoor complex. And that is what the ball hit right there. So we'll try it again with the 1 and 2. Faulkner gets him to hack on it again, looped out toward left field. That's going to sit down, and that's going to score a run. John Frost driving in a second run for the Blue Jays with an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Creighton with 2 outs here in the second. A lot of twos right there.
It's unfortunate. Got him to 2 strikes. Could have gotten out of it.
Kansas just struggling with 2 outs so far. Both runs in this game have come with 2 outs. Frost tucks and goes. Throw down. Pretty good, but it's not going to be in time.
Bear with me here. Still learning the new score bugs. Weird layout. Trying to figure out how we are.
That's growing pains early in the season. 1-0. Had to duck out of the way of that one.
As you mentioned a couple times, Trev, that is club baseball. Seems to be the growing thing.
Yeah.
We're learning, but we're having a good time while we're doing it.
Of course, that's the fun of this. At the end of the day, we're sitting here calling baseball. No better way to spend a weekend. 2-0, taken for strike one, and Faulkner gets one back. Yeah, it is definitely chilly. The downside to being able to sit shielded from the wind is you also sit shielded from the sun. 2-1 now. It swung through. Frost will go. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the 2-2. I must not been paying attention.
I'll take that one on me.
That happens.
Decent chance I couldn't quite figure out the scoreboard there.
Yeah, it happens. We head to the third. Creighton leading this one 2-0 now. Back here for the third, and had a little laugh in the break. Creighton's dugout keeps quoting the Minecraft movie. Obviously, we talked about that already, but not a great movie, but a very quotable movie.
I'm glad we did talk about that. I was confused. I wasn't sure what was happening. I'm not sure what chicken jockey. I don't understand that, but
yeah, we had chicken jockey and flint and steel going on in the dugout as that's taken.
Trying to bunt his way on there, maybe.
Interesting leadoff choice from Eli Greenfield. Bottom of the order up here in the third inning for Kansas. It'll be Greenfield's right as Greenfield chops that foul. It'll be Greenfield right and then leadoff hitter Pollock.
No better place from a leadoff bunt out of that lefty batter's box. Give him a little bit of advantage. Get him there quicker.
And I mentioned we were right by the softball field, almost a softball style play to try and pull off that running bunt of sorts. As that's left for ball one, or ball two, my apologies.
Keep them on their toes.
Exactly.
Draw the corner infielders in, maybe bloop one over their head.
2-1.
It all counts the same.
Left in the dirt, and it's a hitter's count here for Eli Greenfield. No pun intended, but you assume the green light is on. Green light, Greenfield.
Accepted if pun was intended. I thought it was a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 3-1 left outside, and it's a leadoff walk for Greenfield, and for the second inning in a row, Kansas gets the leadoff man award. Creighton Wright rocking those baby blue and red socks. Houston Oilers colors.
Beautiful colors.
Pretty sweet right there. Match the jersey. As he watches strike one.
Got to take advantage of what the defense gives you. Leadoff walk. You got to turn this into something here. At least get along and drive up the pitch count. They would love to get at least one back.
Meyer the 0-1. is again left just at the knees for strike 2. And Wright will have to defend here. Jackson Pollock sitting in the on-deck circle. And Meyer will step off. Greenfield baiting him over at first.
Chucked up about half an inch on his bat, trying to get to the ball as quick as he can, keep a short swing, put a ball in play.
0-2. And he got him. Watch the strike 3. Wright didn't love the call, but there's one away.
Just froze him. Perfect pitch there.
Yeah, just catching that inside part of the plate. So back to the top of the order with Jackson Pollock, the center fielder. Greenfield dancing around there over at first. Do you still here with one out? What do you think?
I think you got to do it. You got your leadoff on. You got to get him into scoring position. You got the top of the order. You got to try it. If there's a single, that'll do it just
Tough
as well.
play, and Jackson Pollock, the top of the order, getting aboard here for Kansas, and there's 2 on with 1 down for Owen McGovern. And last time we saw McGovern on this channel, he was having himself quite a fall out in Sterlington. Played pretty well in that tournament. And we'll see if he can kind of pick up where he left off. He missed that Missouri S&T series. So we'll see what he's got in the tank here. And as Meyer will step off again.
Golden opportunity to make some noise. Maybe get some traffic on the bases, more than there already is, but got to find a way to get one here.
Yeah, with 2 guys aboard, this will be a golden opportunity for the Jayhawks to pull one back. That's just catching the inside part of the plate for strike 1.
They seem to be getting in the pitcher's head a little bit out on them bases, dancing around, jumping back and forth, making him think twice out there. As you saw him again.
That'll be chopped foul. And if you can see us right now, we're both kind of hunched for warmth here in our makeshift broadcasting booth. The later into the day we get, the colder it gets. 0-2. Popped up shallow enough. This could be trouble. Caught one away. Throw to second, skips away from the shortstop. So could have been trouble, but it's only 1 more out. So 2 down now with 2 aboard.
That would have been an absolute killer. We've seen that happen once already, where a guy gets doubled off on a fly ball.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster for Kansas, but Kyle Davis now with an opportunity to continue this inning. First pitch is left in the dirt.
At least they're making him work here. Driving up his pitch count a little bit.
Yeah, certainly the longest inning Myers had to deal with thus far. Granted, it is only the 3rd. Big time hack right there from Kyle Davis. So in a 1-1 count now, the offering from Meyer. Again bouncing in the dirt, both runners will hold.
I think those base runners are honestly getting in his head a little bit. His command just doesn't seem where it's been at this inning. It doesn't seem like he's been as consistent.
2-1. Another big time swing, and the count goes back to even at 2. Back to the wall now for Kyle Davis. He'll have to use that 2-strike approach and defend.
Keep your eye on that off speed in the dirt. He's got him to chase a couple of times.
And
get his signs again.
Again, Meyer will have to step off. So, not the inning he was looking for, even if he can escape it with a shutout. In the dirt. You don't see that every day. It skips off Davis's bat. Both runners are going to move up 90 feet. And the count will be full.
Can't say I've seen that before.
Yeah, you can't see third base, but Greenfield already seemed to be almost digging for third by the time the catcher was able to pop up and throw, but he glances it off of Davis's bat. Full count offering now. Swung through, strike 3, tag applied. Meyer escapes the jam and holds the Jayhawks scoreless again. We go to the bottom of the third. Back here for the bottom of the third here in Omaha. 2-0 Creighton your score, and Tyler Durbin taking over on the hill for Kansas after 2 innings of work from Andrew Faulkner. We overheard him say in the break that his shoulder just wasn't feeling too great. He didn't want to overdo it. So 2 innings of work from Faulkner, and Durbin will take over. First offering is a little high. And again, so Durbin stuck a little high to start off.
As they say in the business, pumping cheddar. He's humming it in there, throwing him, zinging him in, just not quite where he wants them.
This time he finds the zone, gets one back. It's 2-1.
Right on cue.
It's the good old-fashioned announcer jinx right there. As that's fouled back for strike number 2, and all of a sudden Durbin right back to even.
See if the pitching change sparks new energy, new momentum.
2-2. Went for the off-speed. Tough play over at third from Orloff. Fires across the diamond. A great throw from Justin Orloff. Orloff to Davis, and they nab him for out number 1. Unfortunately, you guys couldn't see it, but Orloff had to kind of range over to his right and make that play from a knee nearly.
What have you said multiple times today, Trev?
That's club baseball?
That is club baseball for you.
Yeah.
Making it work the best we can. Brushing back a little bit.
Yeah, Durbin pushing him off the plate to start things off here in the frame. As that's hammered, a tough Tough play to make as it sits down in shallow left field, and there's one aboard with one away.
Those are the worst as a pitcher. You feel like you did everything right. You executed the perfect pitch that you want, and he turns it around for weak contact, but still finds a way to turn it into a hit.
Yeah, I just kind of jammed him there, and it just a little too high for McGovern or Orloff to make a play on it, but a little too shallow for Greenfield to do so. As Durbin still struggling up high.
Gave him the good old-fashioned jam sandwich.
I can go for one of those right now.
Royals fans out there will know Rex Hudler loves that one.
Popped up this time. The wind grabbing and taking it all the way forward. It's off play. And it hooks all the way up. That ball got in the air. Left to first base. And caught by the wind. And carried.
Sidney Thomas reference.
We did just get a Sidney Thomas mention. What have we been saying all day?
That's club baseball.
That is club baseball, in fact.
You quite never know what you're going to get.
Greatest sport in the world. Many have said it. 1-1 swung through, strike 2. They say the magic of club baseball happens off the field. It happens in batting practice with the team. It happens, I guess that would be on the field, but it's
in the union, in the library, when they're studying together.
Studying. That's for certain.
Family-friendly content.
Always. We will not get demoted on the KU Club Baseball YouTube channel, as that skips in the dirt. And he holds. An interesting call. And there are some fans that have gathered here to watch this ball game.
They're letting them hear it over
just
there.
to our left, and they are chirping for that choice. The wind is blown in and it's just taken both my cup and my lineup. You know what we say about that?
Club baseball.
That is club baseball.
In our luxury
1-2
flower bed.
In the flower bed as that's popped up toward right field. Tough play to make in the sun. It's going to get down. And now it's off to the races for both runners. Green light is on. One run will come around to score with ease. Here comes a second, looking for the inside to Parker. Throw to the plate. Not in time. It skipped away from Switch. And with one out here in the third, Creighton doubles their lead. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. All around hectic situation. Now I've got to get up and get my stuff. So I'm going to let Mason take over on the play-by-play here for a second.
A bull ran probably about 100 feet after it landed. Once again, that turf just taking it away. Letting the new guy get a little bit of play-by-play time as we get the new guy. First pitch is in. It's popped out. That's coming for us. The wind blows it back in. The catcher makes a play as he trips over his mask. It all counts the same. They're now 2 down. I thought that ball was coming to us. That's what the wind will do. Is it ended up landing perfectly in that circle. We'll hand it back off to Trev.
All right, we're back. Had to go pick up all my stuff as that's going to be popped up on the infield. Davis and Wright both looking after it. But Kyle Davis makes the grab. Creighton adds 2 more. We go to the 4th. It's 4-0 Blue Jays after the inside the park homer. back here for the fourth inning of work. Kansas finding themselves with a big-time hole to dig out of, and Justin Orloff is going to lead things off, looking to do just that. He led off with a single in the second, and he'll look to repeat that performance here in inning number 4.
See if they can continue their momentum from last inning, making them work just a little bit. For the most part, he's been cruising out there.
First offering is down in the dirt. So Drew Meyer out for a 4th inning of work, and he'll fall behind 2-0 quickly.
Up 2 on him, don't want to help too much. If it's me, I'm only swinging if it's my favorite pitch, if it looks like a beach ball. Gotta see some pitches, make him work. Find anything you can do to get on.
Well, he'll leave that for strike number 1, and now Orloff will have to get back to swinging. Certainly wouldn't mind some beach weather right now. Here's 2-1. Fouled back, and Myers worked his way back to even at 2-2.
Get about maybe 10-15 fans here you've seen sometimes. They bring the beach ball to the game, and the ushers come and take it from them.
I think that'd be fun. I'd love to get a big enough crowd at club baseball to do something like that. 2-2 is in the dirt, ball 3.
My point there is why don't we let them just have a little bit of fun? If they're not throwing it on the field, on the court, on the ice, what's the issue?
Yeah, I could agree with that. As long as you're keeping it contained, you might as well have some fun. We've seen other stuff be allowed. I don't know if you follow the UFL at all. As Orloff tips that one foul, but right back into the glove of the catcher, and there's 1 down. So Mike Ray, 0 for 1 thus far this afternoon, will look to get something going with 1 down here in the 4th.
Didn't get the exact result he was looking for, but I like that at bat. Made him work a little bit. Just came up short. There's not much you can do.
First pitch swinging from Ray is popped up towards center field. Pretty shallow, tough play in the sun, but it's caught, and there's 2 down. So Meyer making quick work of this Kansas lineup here in the 4th as he looks to preserve the 4-0 lead.
Wind stays a factor in this one. That ball it got too high, died immediately. If there was no wind, I think that could have easily been down into the gap for a double.
Yeah, it looked pretty good off the bat, but as we've seen a lot with the actual Kansas baseball team in Lawrence with the wind, sometimes it'll get caught up there in that jet stream and just die. So that's taken for strike 1. Andrew Swearingen, he made a nice play when the man sitting to my right, Mr. Mason, was on play-by-play, making a play on that foul pop-up.
Got a little ahead of myself. I thought I was going to make a play myself.
Hey, always be prepared. You never know. Count goes even 1-1 here. Down in the dirt, 2-1. Swearingen just looking to pick up a trip down to first.
About a round tripper.
That'd be great. 2-1 here. Is jammed out toward the netting. A nice play over in the Kansas dugout. I'm trying to see who that was. That was an excellent grab. That was Jackson Pollock. There's a reason he plays center field. You guys didn't see it, but it bounced off the left field netting just above the dugout. And Pollock was right there to make the play.
Banana ball. Fan catches it. It's an out.
And maybe if it's one of your own fans, maybe it's a walk or something.
Obviously, it was a Jayhawk that caught it, so you wouldn't want that to be an out in any inning.
No, of course not.
Maybe you get a 4th out.
Count goes full here, 3-2. And that ball is pierced over towards first. A very loud out right there. Meyer retires the Jayhawks 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Creighton. back here for the fourth. And the Creighton dugout, again, quoting the Minecraft movie, you wouldn't be surprised. Some are calling that the cultural event of the century.
I think that is actually crazy that's even a thought. I don't know if it's a joke.
I think it's a fact, actually. Durbin back out for a second inning of work. And he fires that one in for strike one and start things off.
It is 2025. Anything is possible.
It's like that Jason Tatum quote. Anything's possible. I've got some friends who are Boston Celtics fans, and one of them is the world's biggest Jason Tatum fan, and he loves to reference that. He has an agenda that Jason Tatum is the GOAT.
We did it! We did it!
We did it! I guess anything's possible was the Kevin Garnett quote back from 2008. So Durbin behind 2-1 here. Is that
a dog in the back?
Yeah, we heard a dog in the background as that pitch was fired and it's fouled off.
I think that caught him off guard.
I mean, that would catch me off guard.
It got me, I know.
I don't see a dog anywhere, which is the interesting part about that. Was that the Creighton dugout?
I think it came from behind us.
Maybe it did. Grounded, takes a really weird hop. Wright makes the play, fires to first, and there's one away. That thing took a crazy bounce off the turf, shot right over Durbin's head. It looked like it could have been a weak little dribbler that bounced back to him, but skying over him, Creighton Wright, right place, right time. No pun intended.
We need to get a little side, for no pun intended, counter on the board here.
I'll see if I can set that up for the next game. How many accidental puns I make in one game. You know, a big part of broadcasting baseball is just making jokes. As that ball is hit pretty well, it's going to stay up there, but it's going to be very shallow, and it's going to drop.
You can't have that. Cannot have miscommunications on the outfield.
Looks like nobody was talking out there in right field. And there's a man aboard here with one down. The kind of mistakes that have been giving Kansas fits this afternoon. You know, a lot of unforced errors, things that if they weren't happening, this might not be a 4-0 ball game.
You just cannot win a baseball game when that's your consistent issues.
Yeah, that's always going to plague you. And this is a Kansas team that has just struggled thus far this year. It's been one or two bad innings, or it's been, you know, a mistake here, a mistake there, as that's going to be dribbled over toward third. Could be two. On to right. Throw to first. In time to get him. The Jayhawks spin a double play. And the error is made up for. We go to the fifth, 4-0 Creighton. Once again, back here in Omaha, 4-0 Creighton. I'm Trevor Butler for the KU Club Baseball YouTube channel, joined alongside by Mason Kuntz. And Kansas is looking for something here.
Once again, thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. We're happy to have you on board here for the spring season. Now, there's only so much rambling I can do by myself. It got to the point I was talking about Hamilton back in the fall. Good play, but, not something I ever thought I'd talk about on a baseball broadcast. Is Tunnel fouled that one back for strike one.
And look, you're talking about it again.
So maybe it is something I should be talking about on a baseball broadcast. A little high, and the count is even at 1. Had to move the microphone real quick. 1-1. Big hack for strike number 2.
Not often you see the number 42 still being worn in baseball much. Obviously, Jackie Robinson retired by everybody. Pitchers got it, rocking it with style. And I guess they would say that's how club baseball rolls.
Chopped over towards short. It's going to be a tough play. High throw, but a very nice play over at first, and there's one away. This Kansas offense just dormant thus far today. It's been an excellent pitching outing from Drew Meyer, working on his 5th inning. Only allowed 2 hits thus far, and I believe it's 2 hits and 1, maybe 2 walks. First offering to Eli Greenfield. Skips in the dirt. One of the walks, I believe it is 2 walks, because Greenfield did walk once.
Had a leadoff walk, I know.
Yep, back in the 3rd. 1-up.
It was the one inning where the Jayhawks made any kind of noise at all, threatened. Starting to run out of time. Need to scratch a couple across.
Yeah, you got 8 outs at this point to try and fight your way back into this one. And Greenfield putting together a good at-bat here to try and do just that.
So I think here Greenfield gets the red light this time.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
You're taking on anything right here. And a close call there on the 3-0, but it's taken for strike 1. And now, back to the puns. Let's see, the green light goes back on here. This is the ultimate hitter's count here with 1 away. Big time hack, swung out of his shoes right there, and the count goes full.
Just rough. I don't know who said it. Somebody in the dugout goes, "Don't miss this here." And what's he do?
Yeah, I feel like it's not the best thing to say to a guy at the plate. 3-2. Checks his swing up high.
Ooh.
Ball 4 on a close play. But Kansas has a leadoff walk. Eli Greenfield, 2nd leadoff walk of the afternoon. Creighton Wright struck out looking last time. He'll look to improve on that here. First pitch swinging, chopped over toward 3rd. Tough play, throw to 2nd. And Greenfield with a big-time slide. He cleared out the 2nd baseman. Shades of, I believe it was Chase Utley and Ruben Tejada back in the 2015 NLCS. Dodgers and Mets.
How about, I forget, I think it was 2016. It was Rougned Odor and Jose Bautista.
Yeah, the fight, the brawl. One of the most insane brawls in baseball history when Bautista got his glasses knocked off.
Copped a big old fist to the face.
So it'll be marked as a fielder's choice, and Jackson Pollock will go to work. Swings at the first pitch he sees. And Jackson Pollock's got a 2-for-3 day with a couple of singles. 2 of Kansas's 3 hits today from the leadoff man and the big-time off-season acquisition for the Jayhawks. Tyler asks my opinion on Pink Pony Club. This is a fun story. You want to hear this one?
Let's hear it.
So, of course, I've been doing some games with Tyler with the Kansas Athletics Radio Network, and Kansas closer Eric Lynn has Pink Pony Club as his walkout song, as that's taken for strike 1. Pink Pony Club is his warm-up song and his walkout song. So we're sitting in the booth during the first Oklahoma State game about a week or so ago, and that song comes on, and I tell Tyler, I'm like, yeah, I actually really like this song. I'm secretly, not secretly necessarily, but I'm a pretty big Chapel Roan fan, and we cracked a joke about that on the broadcast. that ended with me revealing that I do not have a girlfriend and play pressure washing simulator. So that was pretty funny. But no, I do actually really like Chapel Roan, and I get I get some flack for it. People think it's a little bit silly, but it's each their own. I have a 570 song Spotify playlist.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you say pressure washing simulator?
Yeah.
That's a real
gonna
video game.
That is a real life video game. Is chopped in the dirt and the count will go even at 2. No, that is a real life video game. You literally run a pressure washing business and have to go pressure wash cars and houses and all sorts of stuff.
That is not something I thought I was going to hear today.
No, it's a pretty good time. I can't lie. It's one of those games that you don't have to put a lot of thought into it, because that's left up high and the count goes full. Yeah, you don't have to put a ton of thought into a game like that. You can kind of just sit back. So after a long day,
after you finish your hours and hours of JMC homework.
Oh, of course. After another thrilling assignment of Journalism 302, Information Exploration, full count. Rung him up, strike 3, and that'll get Creighton out of the inning. So once again, Kansas threatens but does nothing more. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Blue Jays. Back to it here in the bottom of the 5th. Creighton still leading 4-0 in this one, and the Blue Jays have seemed to find a way out of jam after jam. Every time Kansas threatens, Drew Meyer is able to work around it for the Blue Jays.
I saw him get a handshake in the dugout. I think he might be done. We'll see. But usually that means your day is done when you're shaking the coach's hand.
The interesting thing here is I could say that I don't see anybody up and throwing, but I don't necessarily know where a bullpen would be at this facility. 1-0 is tagged over toward third. Orloff gobbles it up, fires to first. Pick play just goes past. Kyle Davis couldn't stretch enough to make the play. And the leadoff man is aboard here in the 5th.
Once again, unforced errors. Tough play, but should have been made. And that's why Creighton is having these longer innings.
It's the wind picking up right there. I had to look over at the camera, make sure that wasn't moving around at all. Cannot risk that. That is quite a lot of money, and I'm already paying quite a lot of money to the University of Kansas. First pitch from Durbin. Runs inside. It'll be a pass ball. The runner will head to second, so a duck on the pond, a runner in scoring position here in the 5th as Creighton looks to pile onto this one a little bit.
Got to lock it back in here. Two quick unforced errors. Cannot let it snowball. Already down 4 with 6 outs left to do anything.
Durb will step off and now glance back towards Swearingen behind the plate. Swung on. That's Very nice play from Eli Greenfield out in left. He had to go down to his knees to make that play, but he hauls it in. Everybody stays where they are. It's tough. There's no real flags or indicators of which way the wind might be blowing here, as we are right on the heart of this Creighton campus. First pitch swinging is again going to be sent up toward right field this time and caught. So after the leadoff base runner makes his way to second, it's been two quick outs here for the Blue Jays. Again, my first game of the year and clearly still a little rusty. So Tyler Durbin looking to avoid allowing any more damage and see if he can get this game to the sixth. Again, only playing 7 today.
We encourage you to stick around for the second game of our doubleheader right after this.
Absolutely. Game 2 will be in pretty rapid succession after Game 1. We'll do it all again. One and out. Big time swing, but it's just tapped foul. He just got a piece of it. Kansas has struggled with 2 outs for much of the day.
See if they throw him a wrinkle here. Some kind of off speed.
Skipped off Swearingen. He can't find it. It's going to go all the way into the dugout. And we'll see what the call is. It's out of play, and a run will score. So maybe not. Well, there's going to be a little bit of a conversation here.
Of discussion.
We'll see what the umpires have to say. Creighton making the case that he should be awarded home. Kansas arguing that he should stay on third.
In my unbiased opinion, he was pretty much standing on the third base bag when it rolled in the dugout.
I think I agree with that.
I think technically they should give him the run. They're going to put him on third.
Yes, they will put him on third. So Kansas,
interesting call.
A sigh of relief right there.
A lucky break there.
And now there's going to be another conversation as to why the run was not allowed. Not sure what that noise was.
Sounds like looks like there's a construction site there in center field. Hard to see. Sounds like somebody's banging a hammer.
And it has gotten increasingly colder here as we approach 5 o'clock.
See, and dragging this conversation out here doesn't really help much anybody. I would have to say I'm curious of why they made him stay on third base.
Yeah, an interesting call, but I'll never be opposed to an advantage to my team, I guess. Here's the 2-1. Is chopped foul. Orloff came up firing and ready to throw towards first, but the count goes even at 2, and now Durbin will look for a punch-out.
If you have full faith in your catcher here, I'm spiking a curveball.
They have been chasing that off-speed, Creighton has. 2-2. It's fouled off.
Tried to.
Yeah. So Durbin again looking to get out of the 5th.
Yep.
Missed just inside. And the count will go full 3-2.
Try to give him a jam sandwich there. Get in on his hands just a little bit too far inside.
Full count offering. Called for ball 4. And Creighton will get runners on the corners here with 2 away, looking to extend this lead. And we've got time called briefly. And we'll see if Kansas opts to bring in a new pitcher here.
Creighton dugout over there, they are certainly suggesting that the Hawks bring a new pitcher.
It's tough to see. You can't really see down the left field line very well, so you can't really tell if they will have anybody up and moving in that dugout, but it looks like they're going to continue to rock with Tyler Durbin.
Just need 1 out. I'd leave him in.
Yeah, no point in pulling him with 2 outs in a game like this. First offering, runner tucks and goes, taken for a strike, and they pump down towards second, so that might go down as a defensive indifference, but they do that to prevent the double steal.
Guess they don't have the phones in club baseball. You can't call down to the bullpen and say, get this guy up.
Can't get Minter up and moving around. Have you seen that video?
Texas A&M. For the ones of you who haven't seen it, random guys in a living room somewhere were able to find
Texas A&M.
Man, they called to the bullpen and said, get Minter up. And the coach says, what? And they're like, get Minter up. So they get him up and moving, only to find out it was a prank call. It wasn't anybody with any authority. But you've seen it go around. Harmless prank, but it's a funny little joke.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That Minter, of course, being A.J. Minter now of the Atlanta Braves. And, of course, Texas A&M, if you follow college baseball, it'll open this year ranked number 1, but it has been quite a historic collapse. I was checking some college baseball scores in the break. They are winning right now, 9-3 against number 1 Tennessee. So that Texas A&M team definitely still has a little bit of gas in the tank, you could say, and they're kind of showing why they were ranked so highly at the start of the year, but this year has been a disaster for them.
Did you see the other day they were playing Kentucky and they had the whole mishap where Kentucky was trying to – so there's a time limit in some of these games, and Kentucky just didn't want to pitch. I think it was 4:29.
Yeah, and
the game ends at
4:30. Yeah. The SEC has a travel curfew for flyaway days, I believe, and so Kentucky intentionally stalled. Michael Early, the Texas A&M manager, was clearly not very happy with that, but Kentucky stalled enough to force Texas A&M to not be able to play. As that swung through for strike 3, Durbin navigates some early trouble and sends us to the 6th. Kansas has 6 outs to get something going. So we are back here for the 6th inning. Kansas with 6 outs looking to work their way back into this one, and it's another inning of work from Drew Meyer, who has been absolutely stellar for the Creighton Blue Jays today. 5 innings with 3 walks, 3 hits, no runs allowed. He's only allowed 1 guy on the third all day. He'll face Kyle Davis.
A gem.
Absolutely. First pitch in the dirt. To the top of, or the 3-hole hitter in this Kansas lineup, my apology, Kyle Davis.
I see where you were going. Top of the lineup for this inning.
Thank you.
It is the first day back.
Davis takes that one inside and goes ahead 2-0 now. And quickly working his way ahead 3-0. So Davis trying to work his way aboard to lead things off. Left the bat on his shoulder, thought it was ball 4. And a lot of times with umpires, I know when I was an umpire, if I saw a kid just leave his bat on his shoulder, I was calling that for a strike every single time. You know, you got to encourage people to swing.
Gotta be careful when you throw the bat like that on a close pitch, because sometimes you could speak to this, I'm sure, as an umpire yourself. They can sometimes take that like you're trying to show them up, and maybe they're not gonna be too friendly on the calls to come.
Yeah, that can always be a little bit of a slippery slope, as it looks like Davis's day is going to be done. He will be pinch run for. And that'll be number 0, I believe. I need to check on the first name. We only have last names on this lineup card.
Guys in the truck aren't doing a great job.
They are not. Our stats guys need to lock in, as there's a big hack. That is Nick Griffin taking over and pinch running at first.
Could you imagine if we had our own production crew in the truck somewhere?
Production crew for club baseball. What a sight that would be as that's taken for ball 1. I think that production crew would have gotten fired about 6 times over already for the, the camera problems and the mic problems and the internet problems, all that good stuff. It's been a long road to where we are today.
A whole laundry list of issues that we could get these guys fired for.
Griffin's going to take off, and he's not even going to need to slide. Orloff goes ahead 2-1 in the count, and there's a runner in scoring position.
Another golden opportunity.
Kansas continuing to be given chances to try and work their way back into this one. It's still only 4-0, so it's not entirely over yet as Orloff takes that one for strike 2.
Keep the line moving. There is stirring out there in right field in that Creighton pen, if you call it a pen. It's kind of just a pile of dirt there in the corner.
Skips in the dirt, ball 3, but you are right. It looks like there is a new arm up for the Blue Jays.
Could you call that a pen? I don't know. It's not. I don't even know if I'd call that a mound. It kind of just looks like a pile of dirt.
A dirt slope, perhaps? I guess if you're looking at the technical definition of a mound, then it is a mound.
It's
but
a pile of dirt, technically.
Griffin will hold, and the throw will go to first. There's 1 down. So Orloff retired in the full count. Mike Ray once again, still rocking the no batting gloves. Very Evan Gaddis-esque from Mike Ray.
Astros reference.
Always got to make sure there's an Astros reference. They did lose today to the Twins. The offense out there in Houston is definitely struggling as Ray leaves that in the dirt.
Can't speak much to present-day baseball, but I do remember, maybe I shouldn't say, I can speak to present-day baseball, maybe not for Royals playoffs until last year, but do you remember 2015?
Oh, I certainly remember 2015. That was very disappointing. I believe it was Carlos Gonzalez as they'll look to second and throw to first once again. Ray jogs it out, but is not there in time, and there's 2 away. Now, I remember, I believe it was either... No, it was Carlos Gomez. It was Carlos Gomez of the Astros that, for some reason, I have a memory of him falling over in one of those playoff games and allowing a few runs to score. Houston was only a few outs from taking out the eventual World Series champion, Kansas City Royals. It was Carlos Correa's rookie year. They played against him today. Of course, he is a Twin now. Andrew Swearingen steps in and takes a hack at the first offering.
I don't see any hidden center field cameras here today, so
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
You haven't heard about that once? Not as an Astros fan?
Oh, you know, I think I've just chosen to block it out.
Trash cans, center field cameras.
I don't believe I know what
Jose
you're
Altuve
referencing.
wearing a buzzer on his chest.
No, that did not happen.
And Rob Manfred's eyes, it didn't happen because they got basically no punishment at all.
I will not choose to comment on my thoughts on the punishments given to the Astros or the punishments given to any other teams that may or may not have been cheating. Because we only have about an inning and a half left here. I could probably sit here and talk about that for a few hours.
Defending them?
I mean, I will happily accept that they did do things wrong and they did cheat in 2017, and I'm not proud of that happening. And Swearingen pokes that one foul.
I think it's foul.
Yeah. No, they
Can't
certainly did cheat back in 2017. It was very disappointing. I have some family in Houston, hence why I'm an Astros fan, and I know they were all very excited, especially after the hurricane that devastated Houston that summer. But I believe there are a lot of misconceptions about that scandal that a lot of people either don't know or just choose to ignore.
I guess in your eyes, you could say that everyone did it. Obviously, Alex Cora of the Red Sox, their manager, he was suspended a year over it. Shortly after the whole Astros fiasco.
Yeah, Cora, of course, going to Boston and allegedly doing something very similar. Got the year's suspension, but was immediately rehired, and outside of that, it seemed like a fairly light punishment dealt to the Red Sox as compared to the multi-million-dollar fine and essentially forced firing of Astros personnel. But we head to the bottom of the sixth. Kansas gets nothing once again. 4-0 Creighton. Bottom of the sixth on tap for you guys here in Omaha. Creighton still leading the way here 4-0. Right now, if you're Creighton, you're in a pretty good spot right here, up to hit. Already with quite a big advantage.
It would take a disaster to throw this one.
Tyler Durbin out for another inning of work. Looks like a few Creighton guys have been using wood bats today, Wonder if there's any torpedo bats in club ball.
I believe that is a metal bat. Have you seen the ones that look like? I can't tell.
I guess we'll find out when it puts bat on ball.
I see a cap on the end. It looks like it is metal. I don't know.
That sound did not help us at all, because that sounded like a wood bat to me. I cannot tell. But what do you think of those torpedo bats?
Definitely interesting. Actually, apparently not a new thing. It's something that's been in the works for a while. Obviously, most notably the Yankees. But I think it's interesting. Never really thought if you, just move the barrel on your bat. Hey, whatever works. If it's in the rules, then go for it. I think it was.
That is lined back up the middle and will sit down for a leadoff base hit. So man aboard here to start things off in the bottom of the 6th. And that has just been a tough outing here for the Jayhawks. Already 0-7 on the year, looking to pick up that very first win. We will see what happens in the 7th, though. That's taken for ball 1.
My dad sent me this meme the other day and says it was travel ball kids in 2025, but it was probably 8-year-old kid with the obnoxiously big lenses on the Pit Vipers wearing I don't know if you've seen the Easton Hype Fire bat, but it's bright orange, metal bat, popular now, but they made it a torpedo bat. Obviously had all the accessories, the oven mitt in his back pocket, the chains and the shin guards and the elbow guards, and all that stuff. And I had to laugh, but it is true.
That is pretty true. It is pretty crazy too. But I have seen some videos like that of kind of poking fun at a lot of those expensive accessories that you'll see guys using, as that's called for a strike.
So much is just about trying to look cool now.
You look good, you play good.
That is a great point, and you beat me to it.
Throw back, not in time. And like we've said, we'll play another one almost directly after this. We'll transition over to a stream of game number 2. But that should be in pretty quick proximity. Runner tucks and goes. Throw down.
What a throw.
In time to get him. What a throw from Andrew Swearingen. Behind the plate, Swearingen connects with right. And they nab the runner going for second. Quite a beautiful throw to cut him down. And there's one away.
Need you to help me there, that last pitch.
I believe that was a ball.
It's hard to watch, talk, and run the scoreboard all at the same time. Still learning to juggle all this task.
That's taken for ball 4.
It appears I did a miserable job there as I was 2 balls behind.
Yeah, you're good. Today's your first day on the job. That's how it goes. Trust me, it's a lot easier than running the scoreboard, running the stream, talking, responding to chat, paying attention to the game. There was a lot during that fall season. So they're going to try it again. This one called for a strike. Throw in is not in time this time, and it ran a little bit wide. Called for a strike, but the runner ends up on second anyway.
Did you say Jeff Schrocky's son is talking about his dad, maybe?
I would think so.
That we don't know about. Interesting way to
address somebody, perhaps, As that's left just outside for ball number 1. And I just saw a little blinking thing in the corner of the screen that says it looks like the camera is running low on battery. We packed 4 batteries for this weekend trip, so we'll pop that out and pop a new one in here in between games, as that's left up high for ball number 2. Yeah, we'll see if we can make sure this camera sticks with us for another 5 outs of baseball.
Hopefully have a little bit of luck with it. Knowing our luck, these other batteries probably won't work.
Nah, don't say that. We need to knock on wood there as that's up high, 3-1.
Knocking on the table behind me.
3-1. So hitters count here as Durbin looks to try and work his way around some traffic sitting on second. Looped. Great play, Justin Orloff. He flips to Durbin, and there's 2 away. Runner goes to third, but a very tough play right there from Justin Orloff to haul that one in.
Not to take away from Orloff, but a beautiful play by the pitcher, too, to get over to cover the bag, doing his job and doing a great job of it.
And as we've said a lot today, pitchers are athletes. Durbin getting on his horse right there. As we've got 2 down here in the 6th.
Always got to support my pitchers. As a PO myself.
First pitch swinging popped up on the infield. Right will corral it, and we head to the 7th. Blast ups for the Jayhawks as they look to get back in this one. So we are back here for the final inning of work, and it's Drew Meyer back out looking for the complete game shutout, and it appears our camera may have just gone on us. That's awesome.
Horrible timing.
Horrible timing.
Given us
Horrible
just
timing.
3 more outs.
So we're going to do this radio style for the final inning before we switch to the new battery as Tunnel swings through the first offering for strike number 1. Keelan Tunnel batting 7th. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters as that's in the dirt from Meyer. And yes, our camera has very much gone on us, and this no video sign you're seeing is the problem that we were getting pretty consistently. Tunnel, a hard hit ball just past the shortstop, and Keelan Tunnel has a leadoff single here in the 7th.
Little late life. See if that turns into something more.
The Jayhawks will not go down without a fight here. And this will bring up Eli Greenfield, already a couple of walks this afternoon. And a big opportunity here for the left fielder. Runs inside for ball number 1. And time will be called. Here's we've got a pinch runner for Tunnel. That'll be Charlie Marshall coming in to take over at first. Marshall gives Tunnel a high five, trots out to first, and we'll get back to it. A 1-0 count here.
So they bring in the speed guy. We'll see. Do they go on the first pitch or will they try and delay it?
Marshall eyes down the pitcher, but it'll hold off as that one's just a little low. Runs inside and just below the knees for ball number 2. The good thing here is you learn to pivot when you do club baseball. Is I've got a little radio experience, as that's going to be called at the knees for strike number 1. Meyer gets one back. You've got a little bit of experience with the radio style broadcast, is that's a big time hack, but foul back towards the Kansas dugout. Everyone had to duck a little bit, and the count is even at 2 all of a sudden.
That was a rocket. Luckily everybody there is okay, but you could hear the hum on that one.
Meyer working in the 2-2 here with a man on first. Runs down low at the shins, maybe even at the ankles right there for Greenfield, and the count will go full 3-2.
Little life in the Jayhawk dugout over there. Some of the first chatter we've heard.
And we've got time called once again here. Full count, rung him up, strike 3 on the outside corner. And there's one down here in the 7th.
Something close like that, just on the corner, got to swing at that. Got to be looking to put the ball in play. Can't be looking for walks, because at the end of the day, if you're looking for walks.
Shayton Wright steps in, first pitch swinging, throw to second. On to first, he got him, and that'll do it. A game-ending double play. And Creighton takes game 1 of this 3-game tilt, 4-0, your final score. Stay tuned for game 2.